lower level of Larson was where the art department was housed previously for a long, long time. And then we took some classes here to Sim Center in some transitional years. And then when I came in 2018 was the first year we fully moved into this space as the art department.
I think it was in 2016 that Olivet bought this building, and back then it was called Robert Frost. It was an elementary school, and they bought the building, and we got this gym space as the new theater classroom, theater rehearsal space. It wasn't a performance space yet because it was just a gym, a bare gym, and there was a giant penguin painted on the back wall. We affectionately named him Kevin.
And the Sims family, Kevin and Judy Sims, gave some funding so that Olivet could purchase it.
You know, it was a public school, so the Sims acquired it and donated it to Olivet, and we had a dedication for them.
We stuck our foot in the door, because we were looking for a space, to be the art department, and it wouldn't take much to move some of our foundation classes over. So we moved a few easels over, started teaching some of the foundation classes over here. That was when everything was still laid out for the elementary school. So we had little counters, little toilets, all over, so nothing had been renovated or updated yet.
So having our own building also gives us a sense of identity. We share it with other similar programs. The theater has Sims.
Appreciate being yelled at.
I'm trying to tell you. I don't know what's gonna happen next.
I feel like we are brothers and sisters, with those programs. We're siblings. And that feels really good to have that shared identity.
This becomes a home base for students. It becomes a space where we can actually live here, quote unquote. Like when we have a show happening, our stuff can be here, our sets can be here, our costumes can be here. We know that we're always gonna have a rehearsal space. We don't have to negotiate with other departments on campus.
It's a lot easier now. We can have a dedicated painting room. We can have a dedicated printmaking area.
Having Sims out here, sort of out in the boonies, right? Not really, but still kind of like in the campus, but sort of not on the main grounds of the campus. I think of the main campus as being kind of nice and clean and orderly, but then when you come to Sims, you see like this like burst of creativity happen, right?
We have our own kind of community over here, our own space that we get to share. Everything's under the same roof, so that's been pretty great since we moved in completely and named it the Sims. And
there's tangible evidence that they are seen and valued on campus, that they're not just borrowing someone else's space or we're renting a rehearsal room for a little while, but this is Olivet saying, no, we value our theater students, we value the theater program, there's a space where they can be, it's their space.
This building is used so much and has a life of its own, and so it's been very good, I think, for both of our programs. And for the visual arts side of it, it does feel like coming home, and it's kind of become a creative space to grow for students and for faculty to work with students. We have the space we need, we have the light we need, we have the equipment we need, and it's really been a good fit for us.
I recommend just slowing down and then getting your hands really wet, and then potentially, once you make that first indent with your fingers, switching to using a sponge.
Jaida and Kamaunu, I always say her full name because I think it just is a beautiful name, and she is a beautiful person. She brings so much joy to our art department. Her senior show is this fall. Whatever room she walks into, she makes it better, and she's encouraging. She's so diligent. She works really, really hard for the high quality that she's able to achieve.
Ever since I was little, drawing specifically has been a thing that's part of my life growing up. I was self-taught, and it's one of the main things that I have like a strong passion about.
Jaida is not introverted, and a lot of art students are, which is a blessing because she's open to sharing her story and her background with everyone. We've learned so much about Hawaii just having her in our classes, and really gotten to know her, and cherish her as a student.
I'm working with watercolor because in full honesty, it's faster. It's a faster process. So with the amount of time I have left, that's why I decided to go along with that medium.
Sydney and Maya are an interesting case because Maya is a sophomore now, and Sydney is a senior, I believe. I think she's staying an extra year, but technically she's a senior status. So they were interesting when I got their application for winter workshops because there is this divide right between experience. Because Sydney's been through the theater classes. She's taken the directing course. She kind of knows what that looks like. And Maya hasn't taken all those classes yet, but she has the energy of 10 students wrapped into one, right? So I was really interested to see their pitch and to see how they would work together. But I think their dynamic is one where Sydney's kind of serving as the guideline for what the structure needs to look like, and Maya is bringing like the energy and enthusiasm for telling the story, which I think makes them a really good team.
I think my favorite thing is how independent it is, where we have one professor, Professor Kelsie Davis. She's amazing. She's taught me everything I know. And she gives you these tools. She gives all of us the tools, and then she steps back and says, now go do it. And it really allows you to grow. But also because we're all kind of in the same boat, we all learn together and help each other out.
That's also a thing I really love about it. I love how student directed everything is. Even like our main stage shows, they're so student focused still. Like winter workshops, Prof Davis, we had one meeting with her and she said,
That was today.
this is what I, like when we submitted our shows and she said, you're gonna do these winter workshop shows. We had one meeting with her last semester. She said, be professional,
Be prepared.
figure it out, and you're gonna figure out when auditions are, when first days of rehearsals are, and go fly, be free.
Well, a lot of things are going on in Sims. We're kind of using the space for a couple things. Right now we've got winter workshops going on right back here. And so that's happening behind our audience. And so winter workshops is using the space to, rehearse for theirs, but also at the same time we're using the actual stage to just finish set for 1984. So it's not uncommon that the space is being used by multiple people at the same time. We originally had dance team that was going to come in here today, but thankfully we got to use the space, which is very fun.
Hey, so my bad. Dance team only open classes canceled, not the whole thing. My bad.
Okay.
So I need you guys to go back to your green room so dance team can have this space, because technically they have it. Yeah.
I'm not real.
I've been working on incorrect information.
And that's all right. That is okay. Perhaps because of the wallpaper. And she's gonna pull you this way. And Ash is gonna grab you.
Oh, okay.
And I go, ha! And Ash is gonna pull you, and you're gonna lay down. You're gonna go all the way down.
My name's Carmelo Ward, and I major in graphic design. In high school, I was over at Okinawa, Japan. So I was in a far away place. Pretty much nobody really knows what the school is, right? And then one day I had a recruiter that came along, and I played football at first, right? So he came along, and I wasn't really just interested in football. I really wanted a good school that had really good graphic design classes and something that I can actually learn and take it to the real world, right? So he told me about the program. So then I came around August 16th, and then checking out the art institution building, it's just it's honestly amazing. I really fell in love with it. I feel like it was the right place to be. It's just that feeling you get,
So the impression that Carmelo has left with me, he's new to me, incoming freshman, and I met him at the back to school, some art department symposium. And everybody's going around the room and introducing themselves. And when it came time for him to introduce himself in the room full of freshmen, he stood up and said his name. And I'm like, whoa, I want to know this person.
I really love doing graphic design. I really love doing football, and I really love doing RTC. That's what I do. I want to be able to like balance all of that without God, like having God first. But really just with having Jesus first, it really comes with discipline, you know, like making sure you stay on top of your classes, don't be lazy. Another thing is just like having the love to do it. Like if you don't love what you're doing, like it's going to be hard. You're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to want to do it. You just got to have the love for all three of them.
I recently got some feedback on my show and how it's going so far. I am more experienced in digital illustration compared to watercolor, and so the feedback I just got, which wasn't bad, was that it would look more cohesive if I made everything digital compared to watercolor, because like you can kind of see the skill difference on what I'm more experienced in doing. Watercolor is tricky. It is like it's like roulette. You never know what you're gonna get. So with the amount of time that I have, I just didn't want to risk it. And so I decided to go with all digital. My theme and my concept is just sharing the kind of emotions that I went through from transitioning from home to college. So the first few pieces started out as digital, and that's what these are right here. And it starts off from home, and then there is a piece where I am transitioning to leave for college, and then here I am at college, and at first I just feel out of place and homesick, that I kind of did wish I could go back home. But money-wise, it wasn't possible yet until break came by. After that, it transitioned into my watercolor works, where this is actually my first watercolor work I wanted to create. And if you look at the piece, it shows how it is a sunny day and people are walking around campus, but here I am in a puffer jacket. Why is that? Because I wasn't used to the cold fall weather. I've never experienced anything under 60 degrees until college. So it was like a culture shock and just like a new change for me. And I've shared before, like I want to make my piece humorous in a way, just so it can be relatable with other people.
My favorite thing about the art department at Olivet are the students.
And I'm like, I'm not a technical artist, so like this is really...
It's true. I mean, seriously, when I come in, like, I could be thinking about emails, lesson plans, curriculum, and that can be straining, stressful. You know, you can get caught up in that. And then the school year begins, and everybody comes and fills up the building, and it makes all the difference to have the classrooms filled, to meet freshmen like Carmelo.
I feel like the professors really love like what they were doing.
To meet freshmen like Jaida and Kamaunu 4 years ago. You know, they are the ones that bring this place to life. That's where the activity happens.
I mean, it's pretty typical for an art space to be active all the time because the students need the facility to come and do their work.
At their core, the arts allow us to ask questions and to think deeply, and not by ourselves, but by its nature with others.
Thus, we control the past. Do we not?
Memory is involuntary. You haven't controlled mine. You can't control it.
You have not controlled your memory. You believe that reality is something objective, external. But
The arts, and specifically theater, draws us into community with other people.
The theater department adds like another level of life.
When we choose art that challenges us or asks big questions, it draws us into a community space where we confront those things together.
We're all happy to be where we are, so it's kind of a family, you know, within the faculty, but also the students. That
Without the students, you have empty rooms. There's nothing happening in the rooms. You could have the best equipment, the best windows, the best space, and without students, it's empty. You know, that's just a void. So to me, students change the space.
Her smile, her presence has just been really encouraging and motivating in the art department, and really we've learned so much from her as she's learned and grown with us. But we are here to hear her perspective this evening about her body of work. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jaida.
So welcome to my show. I am Jaida Lynn Kamaunu. I am a major in studio art, and my concentration is in drawing and painting. I also minor in ceramics.
I mean, it's really enriching as a professor to see her bring her culture and her voice into her work.
Over the past 3 to 4 years, every time I met someone and I've told them, oh, I'm from Hawaii, every question they'd ask me is, why? And I've told them, I don't know. But I do not regret where I am now.
I feel like it's like a family in here. It's like a community. It's like a bond. And that's something that can never be broken. And it's like, that's the love, you know? And like, you know, as followers of Christ, we're obviously told to give, you know, give our hearts out to people like Jesus would. So
My process of my whole body of work is I wanted to share a narrative of me feeling comfortable where I'm at, but then I start to transition into something new, and with the many like negative emotions like anxiety and fear, that is just a type of like emotions going through as like first arriving. But as I stuck it out due to the support of my family, having to pay my tuition, I was able to just work with what I got and stuck out my years here at Olivet. And as I'm going through this journey, I'm getting more comfortable where I'm at, gaining new experience, meeting new friends, and even just sharing what I'm used to compared to what they don't know.
Theater is such a special medium for art and creativity, in which you're holding up a mirror to the audience and saying, this could be you.
Theater is created to push the bounds of what we know, to make us reflect on who we are, but also to just spark conversation.
And you can't even see that you're part of it.
But you did.
And coming to this, like, any other chapter, I was able to make new connections that I really value a lot. And I will miss them. Part of my process is I like to show and be bright and colorful with my artworks, because even as emotional and frustrating times can be, it is something memorable to look back on.
The arts are critical and in line with God's plan for what we're to do as people.
Mahalo e na apua, mahalo e na kukunala ea, mahalo